Hello, dog owners and enthusiasts. Welcome to the R Plus K9 podcast. I'm Connie Moss, and today I'm going to talk to you about leadership for your dog. Leadership should happen when there is distinctly a bad choice that could physically or emotionally harm either your dog, another dog, yourself, or somebody else, or society at large. Leadership as a definition, in the case of dogs here, it's the process of removing choice in the best interest of the other via structure with emotional support. Think about that. Sometimes it's removing choice and making decisions to best support your dog. Let's talk about a human analogy here. You take your child shopping and a fire breaks out in the back of the store. The fire alarm goes off. What do? You could choose not to be a leader in that moment, do nothing. Your child might become scared and look to you for direction, and you're just checked out. You could let the child make the choice, and depending on their age, it's likely to be a bad one. They could stand there, get scared, they could run the wrong direction. You could react blindly, scream, grab your child, and start running and screaming towards the door, generating even more panic. Or you can choose to be the leader. Take control. Tell your child, that's a fire alarm. It means we have to leave now. Take their hand, walk calmly and quickly to the door. Together, you move far away from the building, out of the way. Then give your child something positive to do. Watch for the fire truck and the helpers and the firefighters. They'll put the fire out. There's your emotional support. Now let's look at a dog scenario. You're walking your dog at the park, you see another dog with its owner up ahead, and the dog is dragging the owner towards other dogs that are on the path ahead of you, all while staring at them in a threatening way. The owner appears to be on the verge of losing control. So, do you do nothing? You just keep walking towards them. What's the worst that could happen? Let your dog make the choice. Maybe your dog hasn't even seen it yet. Maybe your dog runs towards danger. Maybe your dog's a mischief maker, or maybe your dog runs the other way and panics. You could react blindly, yell at the person from a distance, get control of your dog, or you could panic and turn around and drag your dog as you run away. You could be a leader, take control, call to your dog in a happy and calm way, turn around and move away happily. Let's go! Maybe giving some treats, take another path, head back to the car. There's an example of being a leader in this scenario. Those are all the difference between no leadership and the possible fallout that could happen after that, or stepping in and being the leader when your dog needs you to be the leader. It means you have to pay attention. When you're out on a walk with your dog, you're kind of on a date. You shouldn't be on your phone. You should be paying attention. It means that you will see how the environment affects your dog. You're listening to your dog. And we sometimes talk about this in our Walk Wisely class, by the way, at R Plus K9. It's important to meet the needs of the dog, be engaged with your dog at this time. Sometimes you're even interacting with your dog. Your dog may look at you. You could smile or say something. You'll notice the half-eaten buffalo wings laying on the side of the road or the sidewalk, and perhaps you'll catch that before your dog does, and they won't eat them and have gastrointestinal upset afterwards. So keep in mind also, if a decision needs to be made and you need to be the leader for your dog and you at that moment are a little indecisive, that could have an impact as well. If you have a soft dog, they could be left floundering. They could panic because there's no direction. The ship is sinking and nobody seems to care. Or if you have a confident, strong dog, they might say, oh, I'm seizing this moment. No one's in control. That'll be my job. And their decisions could be bad ones. Also, when making a decision, remember, as the situation changes, you can then change your decision or make another decision. Making a decision doesn't mean, that's it, I'm sticking to my guns, because the situation may change. An off-leash dog runs up to your friendly dog while he's on a leash with you, and you make the sudden decision with the information in that moment to step in front of your dog and protect him from the off-leash dog running up to him. But then the off-leash dog's body is soft and wiggly and gentle, and your dog is friendly, and this dog is friendly, and so then you make another decision to allow the dogs to meet. Yeah, I know it's not the best scenario, but in this example, you had to make a second decision based on more information. It's okay to do that. Much like going to the grocery store and your child sees the candy bars at the checkout counter and asks for a candy bar, and you say, well, we haven't had dinner yet. And in that amount of time, your kid's like, ooh, I'm in there. I want the candy bar. I'm going to have a temper tantrum. Or they're going to be plying you as hard as they can for that candy bar. Versus they ask and you say, no, not now. We haven't had dinner yet. And then as you're finishing the checkout, you think, it's okay. You could change your mind in that moment and say, sure, go ahead, get the candy bar. You were really good. So you've got choices to make constantly. Do this often, be the leader often, and your dog will begin to look to you for help when they're unsure. And this, in turn, is building a wonderful relationship with your dog. I want to warn you, this doesn't mean you allow your dog to be overfaced, causing you to have to overmanage. Because then you're asking yourself, really, why am I here? If I'm constantly managing my dog and my dog is constantly making bad choices, then you probably put yourselves in a bad situation and you need to reconsider. Applying leadership, by the way, it should not mean that you're causing fear in your dog, and it should not be only at your benefit with no regard for your dog's needs. Just something to keep in mind. Also, I suggest you apply leadership with your dog in all parts of your life. Sports people, you should be applying leadership all the time in sports, right? You're walking down the side of the ring, and your dog is noticing other dogs, and you have them out on the 6-foot leash, and you're not really focused or paying attention. And wow, yeah, that's a recipe for disaster, and I'm sure we've all seen it. Instead, be the leader. Have your dog on a tighter lead. Do things that keep your dog engaged with you and you engaged with your dog, or put your dog in a crate where they're out of the way. I also suggest leadership in life, but that's what we're talking about right now, such as out on a walk. So in summary, allow free choice for your dog in general, but structure things so your dog isn't in a situation where he's overfaced, causing a lot of stress or fear, and then causing you to have to overmanage. Pay attention when you're out with your dog so you're ready to calmly step in and be the leader when you need to make choices. Be aware of your dog's tendencies when you are indecisive. If it's a soft dog who might panic with too many choices and no structure, and whether or not it's a confident dog who may see the indecisive moment as a moment to take charge and make his own decisions, which might not be good ones. Stay calm yourself. An owner allowing their on-leash dog to greet you and your dog is not the time to blindly react and start yelling at them to get their dog away from you. What you do in that moment teaches your dog. Think about that. In these situations, if you overreact, your dog will end up overreacting as well. It may not happen immediately, but if these situations happened fairly often, that's going to be a problem. And always, lastly, keep in mind you can always change your mind and your decision, especially as the situation changes. I hope you found that helpful, everybody. Happy training!